Yeah, recording started.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to
Hi,
this
Anuj.
discussion on I. Welcome to this discussion on women in tech and AI. And as we start off, it's already almost half of 2026 is gone, and my coffee machine knows my mood. Cars drive for themselves, and AI agents handle our calendars. And to top it off, we live in Dubai, a city which changes its skyscrapers faster than how we change or upgrade my iPhone. And still, we take 10 to 20 minutes to decide where to order lunch from. Why? Because while the world changes, human nature doesn't. And today, for International Women's Day, we are not just talking about what's new, we are also talking about things that do not change. And for that, I have with me today two amazing women who are working in technology in Dubai. And I would want them to introduce themselves before we start. Over to you.
Hi, Anuj. Hi, Elif. Uh, I'm Bhanupriya Singh. I'm a Salesforce CRM specialist. I'm passionate about leveraging technology and transforming businesses in terms of CRM. And apart from that, I also foster a small women in tech group here in Dubai. That decision has been the most fulfilling decision of my professional career. That group is around 1.5 year old, and I really love talking to amazing women, understanding their thoughts, sharing knowledge and synergies with them. Apart from that, I'm originally from India. Um, it's been more than 6 years in Dubai, and before that, I was working in Pune. Anuj, if you know about Pune, at least have you heard about Pune?
No.
Okay, so it's a very famous city in the state of Maharashtra, and yeah, that's pretty much about it. It's been more than a decade in CRM, and every day I would say has been a wonderful journey so far. So yeah, that's pretty much about me.
Yeah. Thanks, Manu. Elif.
Hi, this is Elif. I professionally work on how AI and cloud technologies translate into real business outcomes for organizations across Middle East and Turkey, which is my home country. My background is a big mix of industrial engineering and sociology, which means I've always been interested in two things: how system works and how people behave in those systems. I was born and raised in Istanbul and have been living in Dubai for the past 4 years. And today, much of my work focuses on AI, especially how organizations adopt it responsibly and how people develop skills to work alongside it. And one belief that guides me in all of it, that technology is just a tool. The real impact is always defined by the choices we make. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Over to you, Anuj.
Thanks, Elif. Thanks, Manu. So to start off this discussion, I mean, we've all been victims of our own past success and our habits. And to thrive in an environment like Dubai, we've all had to shed our old skins and adapt to the new environment. And both of you come from cultures where you've had to fight with the system to get things done. And then you move to Dubai, where
Yeah.
the system is actually the feature and not the bug. So I have a couple of questions around that. I mean, what was the one belief about business or tech that you had to unlearn to succeed here? And is the lack of chaos actually stressful for you? And lastly, what did you bring in your suitcase that AI can't replace?
Um, One thing that I had to unlearn here in Dubai was, I don't know, Anuj, if you would agree, it is creating constant pressure or working under pressure or um, creating constant urgencies to boost productivity. Now, in many fast paced environments, we always think that um, speed is always driven by chaos or creating constant urgency will boost your productivity. But this thing I've learned it hard and I've learned here in Dubai that structure, clarity, uh, proper time management, and collaboration can actually drive a project really well rather than creating an environment for the team where there is constant urgencies created to boost their productivity. This is something that I have unlearned or learned. Yeah. And yeah, for your next question, see where the place where I come from, work has always been chaotic, okay? And in such reactive environments, you always assume that now chaos is fine, but then lack of chaos is stressful in the beginning, but then this thing, I've also realized that stability also gives you or allows your brain to pause and
Mm.
focus on quality, build scalable solutions. This thing only comes when you're not worrying about the chaos or when you're not always firefighting problems. So yeah, in the beginning chaos can be a little stressful, but in the long run I feel uh, stability is the thing that wins. And for your last question, that one thing that I have bought in my suitcases, which AI can't replace, right? This was your question, right,
Yes.
Anuj?
Yes.
um,
Yes.
that is human judgment and empathy. See, AI can do all sorts of things for you. It can do all your calculations, it can automate your task, and it can analyze your data. But uh, building the trust, understanding the business requirement that can impact humans, and the human judgment, human capability, I think that is something that is irreplaceable. Yeah, that's what I think.
Elif, your views on this?
Um, like Banu had already summarized it so well, but from my take, if I say one belief that I have to unlearn when moved to Dubai is that I moved from Turkey, right, just 4 years ago. I have the impression or the learning that the innovation is primarily defined by resources available to us. Because earlier in my career, I saw a lot of talented people with very strong ideas who genuinely wanted to build new things, but many initiatives would stop before even they started because of uncertainty, budget limitations, or assumption that things wouldn't simply move forward. But living in and working in Dubai shifted that perspective for me because what I experienced here was a very different mindset, that one that focuses on building, executing, and constantly asking how things can be better. And when that mindset, exists, innovation starts to feel less constrained by resources or more driven by clarity and ambition. So that shift also shaped how I approach my work in AI today as well. And in many conversations, I pause and ask a simple question: what are we really trying to achieve, and why does it matter? And I think that echoes with Banu's, one thing that I keep in my suitcase. This is the judgment that I keep in my suitcase as well, and which I believe AI cannot replace. So the ability to connect technology with purpose, simplify complexity, and make decisions that reflect not just efficiency, but also responsibility and values. Because ultimately, AI accelerates what we do, but judgment determines whether we are doing the right thing and accelerating the right thing. So, yeah, over to you, Anuj.
Very insightful. Very insightful
And one
thoughts.
more thing,
And then,
if I can add, Anuj, to this point, along with the human judgment, I think empathy is something that AI cannot replace. Tying, see, after all, when we build systems, people are going to use it, right? So empathy is something that connects everything. It's that node that puts everything together. Human judgment and empathy, like Elif rightly said. Yeah, I would go with that. Human judgment and empathy is something that is irreplaceable.
yeah, with that thought, I mean, whether we like it or not, we are in the age of agentic AI. And we hear a lot about AI and agentic AI taking away our jobs. And our jobs and the descriptions have changed maybe 10 times over the past 5 years, if not more. But at the same time, as people in tech, we keep on finding new and new use cases of using AI in our daily lives and in business to make it better. So I wanted to also hear your views because the most valuable skills are the ones which cannot be automated, which cannot be done by a machine.
Right.
So, as women leading teams and working with customers who have high expectations with the ROI, are we now solving smarter problems with AI, or are we just dealing with the same human office politics, but at a much greater speed? And if your views on this, please.
Okay, this is a great question. And I think everyone should ask this to themselves and in their organization. I think the short and honest answer is both things are happening at the same time. And what excites me about AI is that it helps people tackle questions that used to feel very, very difficult to even start. One simple and common example I see is what I call blank face syndrome. So many people struggle with questions, very simple questions like, what are my skills? What could my future career look like? What I should learn next? And AI helps people explore these questions much faster by surfacing insight and possibilities that previously would have taken much, much longer. So in that sense, yes, AI is helping us solve more complex questions in smarter and more insightful ways. But technology doesn't automatically change human behavior. Take collaboration tools like Microsoft Teams or Zoom. The technology existed for years, but it took a global pandemic, a little virus, for organizations and people to adapt them. And I think we are seeing a similar moment with AI today. So the technology is already here, but organizations and individuals are still learning how to integrate it into everyday decisions. That's why I believe AI doesn't magically fix organizational dynamics. It mostly amplifies the culture that already exists. So if an organization values transparency, learning, curiosity, AI accelerates progress. If those things are missing, technology alone won't change that. So
Mhm.
in real essence, AI scales intelligence, but leadership and culture determine how that intelligence is used or whether it gets used at all. So yeah, that's the stage we are in from my view. Over to
Yeah.
And
you, Anuj.
yeah, and on a lighter note, Anuj, office politics has been upgraded to 4K Ultra HD.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I'm just
Uh,
kidding. I'm just
so, Bharu, on this, I mean, this year's Women's Day theme is around give to gain.
yeah.
And in the past, coaching and mentoring were more of perks, which was not available to everyone.
Yeah.
I wanted to
Yeah.
hear your views on how AI is making give to gain easier. Can a young girl in a remote village now access the same Dubai level of coaching through AI driven platforms? And how are women as leaders fueling that? If you could just share your views on that.
Yeah, sure. See, with the help of AI, a woman sitting in a remote village has access to all the resources and platforms that was otherwise available to people who are residing in big cities in Dubai. So AI has definitely helped that. And women leaders, I would say, Anuj, are always in the forefront of this shift. By leveraging the technology, they share knowledge, uh, they are mentoring virtually, and they are creating an inclusive environment that creates a more powerful ripple effect. And it's give and gain, I would say, Anuj, because this generosity never goes in vain. I feel it always comes back as opportunity. This is what I believe.
So, I mean, in 20 years or maybe less, the
Yeah.
AI that we are using today could anyone could look back at it and think of it as something from Stone Age. I mean, in fact, the ones that we are using as the forefront of AI today would become obsolete very fast.
Yeah.
But our core human emotions and how we react to things would not change. I think they're still very much ingrained into us, and they would still remain the same, and they are the constant in our lives.
Yeah.
So I wanted to hear from both of you. What is the one piece of advice you'd give to a young girl entering IT today that would still be relevant in, let's say, 2050? And where do you see as the biggest open door for women in tech in the future? Your views, please.
Okay, so women who are entering the tech landscape are all already equipped with the skill sets that they need. But once they enter, my biggest advice to them is to invest in themselves and invest in learning continuously, because what I feel is skills, confidence, and adaptability will never go out of style. See, businesses, technologies, trends will keep on changing, but which what remains relevant is your ability to adapt and constantly upgrade yourself in terms of learning, in terms of knowledge, in terms of skills and confidence. I think that is something that never goes out of style. It will still be relevant in 50 years.
And yeah, Banu, I feel like I am on the same line with you. If I would have to give one piece of advice to a young girl, it would be just, you know, resilience and real and full resilience in every form and shape. And let me elaborate on that because, you know, resilience is a very buzzy word that, you know, gets used over here and there for quite a lot. First, yes, technology is moving extremely fast. And secondly, we cannot and should not continue doing the same thing with just
Yeah.
more powerful tools because
Yeah.
then we are not really making any meaningful difference.
Yeah.
And I always keep reminding myself the world we live in today exists because someone in the past asked one simple question: why? Why this is happening this way? Why it is like this? And many milestones in women's rights begin exactly this way. At some point, a woman asks, why can't women vote? Why can't a woman, you know, open a bank account in her own name? And in many ways, women have been practicing this for generations and questioning systems and pushing societies forward. And the young girls still, unfortunately, need to continue to do this because there is still a lot to question and there is a lot to push forward. And I believe that this resilience mindset is incredibly relevant for the future of technology, the humanity, and the world. Because as AI evolves, many tasks are increasingly be handled by intelligent tools and agents, right? What comes more valuable then is our ability to ask the right questions, communicate clearly, and define the purpose behind what we build or what we do. And this is where I see a very important open door for women because the future of technology will not be defined only by what machines can do, but by who has the courage to ask the right questions and change what needs to change. And young girls should know that they inherit a long tradition of women who question the world and change it. And that
Yeah.
gives them every reason to ask the bigger questions. So that's my one piece of advice to the young girls.
Wow, very profound. In fact, my daughter asks me more whys than I have ever asked in my life. So thank you both for your views. It was very interesting discussing with you and hearing your views on women in tech. And what I would want to close it with is that while tech and AI changes the how and how we do things, but it's us humans, our emotions, and our behaviors, they remain the same. And with that thought, I would wish each one of you a very happy International Women's Day and have a great day. Bye.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you, Anuj. Thank you, Elif.
Thank you.